Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. And here we have this very interesting toy that Santa brought to me this Christmas. And I wanted to make a review of this interesting toy made by the world famous Lego. And of course, this is the world famous Star Wars robot called R2-D2 from the Star Wars movie and Enterprise or franchise. And this one is actually a pretty wild, I guess, toy, whatever you want to call it, because it consists of 2,314 pieces, actual pieces. And the model number of this is actually 75308, and it's marked as to be built by people with the age of 18 and plus or older. I believe this could be built by even younger people. I believe so. It's. I mean, it is a kind of a complicated thing, but it's not like the Technic toys or the Technic Lego build sets where you have a bunch of mechanical different things that are happening. So this is just straight built with all these famous parts, kind of squarish triangle pieces that we've grown to know, especially people that built these Lego sets all the time. So the first glimpses, there are two versions actually of this set. There's a smaller one, I believe it's in the range of like $100. This one is the more expensive one. This one is about $200, and it does seem kind of intimidating in the beginning. And as you can see, this box is huge. I mean, I can barely grab it with my hands, and it gives you the presentation of the toy. 50 years, I guess, of Lucasfilm Limited, and it shows you very interesting details from the movie sets. Actually, that's the actual robot from the movie with Luke Skywalker grown up with the robot, and with his friend the C-3PO. And we have the different functions of what we need to do if we, like, when we're playing with this thing. Of course, I wouldn't say that you guys would be playing with this. This is more of a tribute, kind of a statue, I would call it, more than than being called a toy, because and it has this presentation sign, which is right here. That's the little presentation sign. This is the little robot that they included. It's just a very, very tiny little toy. And it came off the actual stand. But it is kind of just attached to this little stand, and this is the actual description of this. 50 years of Lucasfilm, and then the description of the actual toy. So again, this presentation kind of guides you to the point to understand that this is not actually a toy. But getting to the actual building set or robot, it takes about, at least it took me about 2 days, kind of almost, I would call it 8 hours, 10, 8 hours, somewhere around that range of about 2 days, maybe about 16 hours to build this. I was kind of excited and I wanted to see what this is going to look like, so I just got into it and I managed to build it in about a couple of days. If you don't hurry, you can probably take a few days more. It's up to you guys. The toy is massive. As you can see, this is about a foot, so it's about almost 2 feet tall. It's a very big toy, and the one think, I mean, the detail of how they figured this out or how they built it, I guess on the 3D, in 3D, I guess they're probably using, I'm sure they're using some kind of program in advance to actually build this thing up. And then to actually finish it up, and then, you know, they start building it to test it first, I guess, and then they release it on the market in the way it's supposed to look, in the way that's what is exactly supposed to look like when it's sold and built. But I would say that the detail is very, very interesting. You know, obviously it's not going to match exactly what the actual toy or the actual robot looked like when it was built, but it is pretty close with some very interesting details. I need to grab this from the bottom, kind of move it, because the one thing that I gotta tell you is this is, again, this is not a toy. Definitely not a toy, because it's kind of flimsy. And the reason why I'm saying this is because they did manage to get the point of building this, but it's not sturdy and it's very flimsy. As you can see, these feet move kind of left and right. They also they are connected in the middle right here through a mechanism, a shaft mechanism, but they don't really support each other. They're kind of flimsy. I guess this is allowed to have some kind of a, you know, movement left and right, even though in the movie it doesn't. This robot doesn't move sideways, you know, its legs. But let's you know, kind of ignore this for a second. I'm just trying to tell you that this is, you know, for the fans of Star Wars, it would be a very nice robot that I can actually kind of put somewhere on a stand or a table. But for someone who is supposed to play with this or wants to play with this, it's just not going to happen. So going to the details of this, I will show you. These are the legs, very, very nice details. During the building process, I did take a few extra kind of, I wouldn't say shortcuts, but more of a rebuilding or building some extra stuff on my own, because I thought that this wouldn't be solid enough when I was building these pieces. The robot itself actually has these two side pieces that you build first with the side legs, and then you build the front and the rear that kind of slide from the top going down. And then the last thing is this head. This head was actually very, very kind of very weak, I would call it, very kind of flimsy, until the last moment that I built the top of it and the walls kind of, you know, started sitting together. I think possibly they could have done a better job to make it a little bit more sturdier, but again, I don't think this is made to be played with. So functionality, these things don't move. These are just kind of some representation of some mechanisms. These couple things, I guess hydraulic or air pumps, whatever this is supposed to be. And then we go to the sides. The legs have these little detail. This just stays up in the air. I'm not sure what this is. And I know that this kind of moves because I left it there. I guess I can add a couple or a few more things to these kind of funky looking things, because I can probably put a something solid on top of this if I don't like it, or if you guys don't like it, even though in the picture this is what it looks like exactly the way I left it. I did change these two. They're supposed to be gray. I managed to find these gold ones to kind of match these lines, the hydraulic lines, but they're supposed to be like these gray ones here. The leg, this is, you know, one of the legs, the right side, I guess. This thing here also moves up, and I have not installed anything on top of it, but I believe, I mean, something could be installed on this, whether it's one of these little grills like the grills here, or maybe a couple of these things. It's just this is the way they left it alone. One thing that I did see here, I guess I could install something else here too, because these are kind of sitting by themselves. I could use maybe a grill and a single white piece, but as I can see on the original model here, there's nothing untouched on top of it. Anyway, going to the back, this is the back of this little set. We do have some little lights here. They're supposed to be like red and green. Those are the lights that you will see here. Also, we have this bluish light. There's none of these are functional. Obviously, we don't have any electricity going on. So, going back down here, we do have two functioning things here. These are pins that we actually push forward to open a mechanism in the front. That is to that's to be able to lock and to put this actual toy or the middle leg inside of the toy back in, because right now this is the middle leg is right here, the third leg. So as you can see just on the picture, is just hanging there. And going to the left leg, the left leg is a little bit different. It has some of these grills. It does have the same kind of hanging, this little bar thing, and then the hydraulic lines. That's the details on this. So the front part, it does have a couple functioning things. As you can see, if I move this, this thing starts to kind of lose not its integrity, but I would say it's not a good thing to try to pull this out, because it may actually disassemble itself. Again, this is meant to be just kind of installed somewhere where it's kind of for presentation, and probably not too much of anything else like playing or showing stuff or whatever. They are probably also LED sets that you can probably buy online to kind of make some of these kind of light up. I haven't checked, but I remember that I have bought these little LED sets that makes these toys very, very nice. They're like kind of Chinese sets that you install with little tiny wires, little LEDs all the way around with a remote, and you can make it actually change colors on the LEDs and kind of set it up to look very, very nice. You can try to see these online, maybe on eBay or somewhere else. I've bought them off eBay actually before. So that's the kind of the way this looks. Again, none of this is functional here, and we do have these two bars here that open. This bar doesn't really do anything. It just goes back in, and I believe this one opens the other way. That one doesn't really do anything either. So this is just the way these fit. But we do have two other things that actually are functional, and these things in the back, these two push rods or shafts, whatever you want to call them. When you push these on in the back, they open these little two little drawers here on the sides. The reason is because this one of these here is the actual lock that controls, as you can see inside here. It's a mechanism that controls the locking and unlocking of this middle leg. There is another thing here, but I don't believe this one served any function. Yeah, I don't think so. This one was the only one, because this one moves. There's one moving part here in the middle. As you can see, I'm moving it with hand, and that is the actual lock of the whole mechanism that holds the middle leg. I don't believe this one. Oh, okay, this one moves also. Okay, I thought it was just for show. Okay, so we do have two locks here. And let's try to show you how this is supposed to work when we unlock in the middle leg and how it actually goes down. So let's give this a try. I've done it a couple times, but it's, again, I'm gonna warn you, that's kind of flimsy. I mean, I'm sorry for Lego. I do love this set. It's very, very nice. It's very interesting. They managed to build it with a very high quality design, but it just kind of flimsy. I think they could have done a better job. So this is supposed to go, okay, let me see. I need to figure out how this worked, because I remember that there was a way of how this is supposed to go down. Okay, here we go. Don't ask me, I could not figure out how this works, because the mechanism here on the inside goes up and down, but it goes through a funky lock, and it has these elastic bands that are supposed to keep the lock locked in and not locked. So it's kind of flimsy. I couldn't figure out exactly how this works, but what does it matter? You guys will figure it out. I usually pick it up and kind of play with this middle leg, and then it'll drop down. And this is actually how this is supposed to stay in, I guess, in this presentational kind of position, connected to the movie when this robot was actually supposed to move. Like when it was in this stage in the movie, this robot would move. Actually, I believe it will move on this table, but of course you got to use both of your hands, because again, this is kind of flimsy. This mechanism is not very sturdy. If you want to just move it a little bit to show to the people how this moves, like this, it does have sliding. It does have these sliding attachments on the bottom, these little plates. That's why it's a little bit off the table, as you can see. So it's actually made to kind of slide. And it doesn't want to stay with me. It went back in. Okay, let me see if I can lock this. Okay, this is. I remember that. Okay, so it's supposed to be raised up. I remember this. When you guys raise this up, then this will stay the way it's supposed to stay. Now, here we go. I believe this is locked. Yeah, this is the way it's locked. As soon as you start moving this, kind of raising it up off the ground, then I believe the mechanism will start working, where it will try to release this from this position and try to go back. So again, for the people that built this, I guess, you can play with this, and doesn't really matter. I mean, technically you will either put it in its normal position, or you will leave it in this position for presentation. As you can see, actually this is kind of sitting a little bit awkward. Yeah, this was kind of funky. Why? Yeah, I guess it's not supposed to be too far out. It's supposed to be like right here, but it was pushing these two legs. Okay, so this is the maximum that is supposed to stay. Okay, I understand now. Yeah, there's not much of a play. You can only put it at this level, where you have to watch out for these legs. And of course, you don't want to tilt this too far back, because it will probably drop. And as you can see, this is pushing the leg again. And that's the mechanism on the side. I don't know why it's doing this, but anyway, it's an amazing toy, but it's made for presentation only. So, okay. So once it moves a little bit, it goes through, I guess, to an angle, and then it kind of locks in here. So when you're moving this, you're supposed to hold your hands and kind of, not really play with it. And this leg would be on the bottom. And this would be pretty much the way this will be presented to people. What else? Let's try to put it back in. Okay, you can kind of push it back in like this. And I believe we can put, if you hold this middle leg up, it'll actually lock back in. There we go. I remember that much. So yeah, it's, again, it's not really a toy. I'm sorry for repeating myself. It is a kind of a demonstration Lego set, or kind of a little kind of demonstration toy. But it is, we're familiar with Lego sets, and obviously this is to be expected from a set and how it's supposed to be built. The one funky thing is, okay, the head is interesting, that the head actually turns around. They did manage to kind of build it up to spin around freely, so obviously, you know, you do spin it, you can spin it 360 degrees. This could be actually taken out, but I did kind of set it up and it is there. And what else there was? Okay, yeah, there was a little kind of a thing here that you can open. Oh, it is right here. That you pull one little toy. I guess this looks like an antenna that comes out. Okay. Oh, okay, one of these was just like an antenna, like a presentation scanner maybe on antenna. And we can put this back in. And there was another, okay, there is another, where is this? This is next to this. So this part, when you open this thing, there's a little drawer with a little toy here. So this kind of looks like the lightsaber, possibly. Yeah, something like that. And this is stored here. I guess they couldn't do a, they couldn't do a drawer, you know, the way how it's actually in the movie, but it's all right. It looks fine. It looks interesting and it looks funky enough. So big way, you know, for Lego to contribute this for the legacy of the movie. Again, very interesting toy. I highly recommend it. It is fun to build it and it is fun to have it. And it's a huge toy, so yeah, I guess you're gonna need to find some proper space to actually where you can set this up. And what else? Yes, like I said, there is a smaller version of this. I think it's probably half size of this, that and it's also half the price of this set. And I don't believe that the other one has these functions. And I guess for people that deal with Lego sets, you can always, you know, you can always kind of upgrade this with your own kind of design thoughts, because as you can see here, this is part of the design. But I believe if I manage to find these same color little square plates, I'll be able to maybe install these to kind of make this look slimmer, to get it closer to the original design of the toy, even though that's not the purpose of this. But anyway, we can, you know, you can add stuff obviously to make this a little bit funkier, just like I did with these two gold buttons. I believe I'm gonna add some stuff here to make this look better. Also, I am also thinking that I will try to find, I see other stuff here. The other thing is, yeah, I guess we can add some more stuff here. We can add some gray squares, like square bits, like these here, like a square bit like this gray one here, or maybe blue ones, whichever color, or maybe we can put some grills here in the back. Again, very huge freedom to upgrade this and make it look a little bit, you know, different, kind of original to whatever you guys like this. So funky looking set. I love it. I like it. Again, it's not for playing, but it is what it is. It's the set, you know, dedicated to this robot, and it's a very nice presented toy, or a set. And again, with a very nice presentation sign here. And again, this is what this is supposed to look like. And kudos to Lego for building this for us and letting us, have something like this in our collection. Again, highly recommend it. Please, if you can get this, it will be an amazing addition to your Lego collection. And again, guys, I hope you enjoy these videos, and please hit those like and subscribe buttons, and I will definitely see you in the next one. Thanks very much for watching, and have a blessed one.